Welcome to Doki Doki Game Club, a retro video game podcast. My name is Brandon Fincher, and since this is the first recording we're making under the moniker of Doki Doki Game Club, there's a good chance you either know me in real life or you're real confused right now. Hopefully I'll be able to clarify some things for you in a moment, but in the meantime, I want to take a second to introduce to you my good friend and faithful co-host, who's been kind enough to join me on this beautiful fall afternoon, Mr. Joseph Luster. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, man? Good to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about this. So, I figured we would go ahead and begin by talking about what is Doki Doki Game Club. You know, it's something we used to do as far as podcasting goes a good while ago. Jesus,
It's been a long time.
10 years maybe?
Yeah.
I think the technology is completely different at this point, but yeah.
Yeah, we have actual microphones now.
Yeah. Hopefully we sound a lot better than we did back then. The cheap Logitech headsets.
Our goal right now is to be the first podcast to have a good sounding first episode.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So we'll see how this little preview goes here. But I wanted to start by doing basically like a rundown on what Doki Doki Game Club is, what listeners can expect to get from it, some of the things that we have planned in store for the future of the show. So go ahead and start. And I want to say that the sort of inspiration of this idea to start a podcast again was the desire to communicate with people about a lot of the old games I've been playing. You know, I've been playing a lot of old games, and I've been, more importantly, recently in this last year, I've been aware of the fact that there were a lot of classics that I never played, or if I did play them, it was just super brief. And, you know, I either rented them or, you know, for whatever reason, like the stuff that's considered classics, you know, of gaming, of our youth, you know, of the 8-bit, 16-bit, you know, and early CD games. I just, for whatever reason, I missed out on them. So I started playing the Metroid games, you know. I'd never finished a Metroid. I'd never finished a Legend of Zelda game until just this year.
Man, that's wild.
So, yeah.
You had quite the shame pile.
Yeah, hey, whatever. You know, if it brought us to this point, then I'd say okay.
No, it's actually good because, I mean, not many people can say that this is, you know, their first time playing a classic Nintendo game or, you know, at this stage of life, you don't really get to have a first experience with these things. So yeah, I'm kind of envious.
In my defense, I wouldn't say that a lot of the stuff I've been playing has been a complete first introduction, you know, but it just... for whatever reason, I just never.
But the first deep dive,
rent these
right?
games. Yeah, the first deep dive, the first and it's it's been fun. It's been interesting. It's been rewarding. And my desire to I've been hitting you up. I've been hitting up Brian and Frank and other people and trying to have these conversations about these games that most people in our sphere of fandom take for granted. So I'm like a kid, like a baby with fresh new eyes. So. But yeah, so we're going to do this Doki Doki Game Club in a sort of book club format. And that's pretty important to the general concept of the show. I wanted to have a roundtable discussion about some of these classic games, and I wanted to, more importantly, involve my friends in the process of selecting games, and maybe there's things they have on their list of classic games that they've never completed either. So each of us on the show has been putting together a list of games that they've been wanting to play. Some of them I'm sure are revisits, but in most cases, hopefully it's new stuff that nobody's played before, at least on the show. And so format. Let's talk about that real briefly. Each of us, as I mentioned, we're taking turns picking games, but we're going to give ourselves a sort of self-imposed crunch of time. Like we 2 weeks is what we're saying currently, at least, for the time frame with which to play these games after we've announced them. So 2 weeks later, we'll get together. Whether you finished it or not, we're having a conversation about it. And I'll go ahead and say this right now. Doki Doki Game Club is going to be spoilerific, but I think there's probably a statute of limitations on some of that stuff.
I think we're fine considering the coverage that we'll be doing. No one's going to be too surprised.
And I'm hoping that something fun comes from these conversations, in that it's not just fun for us to talk about, but it'll be fun for people to listen to, and more, maybe even more importantly, that it's going to be a contemporary take on a review for an old game. And hopefully collaboratively, so I know that you and I have some pretty similar tastes when it comes to games, but I've recently played through the second Zelda game for the NES, and I had, I had some sort of mixed feelings about it. And our good buddy Brian Grogan, who will be on the show at some point, had that's his favorite game of all time, I think, or at least one of his top games.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, and so I think I frustrated him by my constant belly aching about the game's unfairness and whether or not it aged well. So, but I bring that up so that I can point out that we're not all going to be in agreement on everything.
Oh, definitely not. About. Yeah, I mean, because I'm not really in agreement with that, but I also see the other side of it too, where I'm like, well, I understand why you would complain about Zelda 2 because it's really annoying.
Yeah.
But I do love it in its own weird way.
Yeah, I mean, I saw its merits, but yeah. Well, anyhow, yeah. This isn't about Zelda 2.
Surprise! This is the Zelda 2 episode, everyone.
So we've talked about. I've mentioned Brian and Frank so far, and you're hearing Joseph and I right now. We're having this conversation, but we will be having a cast of four on the show in most instances, and we're going to have probably a revolving door. You'll probably hear Joseph and I as mainstays, but Frank and Brian, Frank Martin, Brian Grogan, and our friend Matt Gulbranson have already expressed interest in being involved. So I'm excited about that. And those guys are all good guys, and they all have unique skill sets when it comes to classic games.
Sounds like Taken. It's like they all possess a unique set of skills for playing classic games.
Mentioning the other guys, mentioning Joseph and I, it's going to be fun for us regardless, and hopefully you listen to it and you find some enjoyment as well. But the extra member of the cast for Doki Doki Game Club, the fifth Beatle, as it were, is going to be you, like the person listening to this.
You, the player.
Yeah, exactly. We plan to announce the game that we're going to play. And Joseph, do you want to go ahead and say what we're playing, what we've played first? We've already kind of covered.
Yeah, we actually already we all ate this meal very quickly, but we chose Little Nemo: The Dream Master by Capcom for your Nintendo Entertainment System.
And I will say that I mentioned playing new games afresh. I owned this one as a kid, and I selected this first game, but I selected it because I'd never beat it. And despite owning it, I've got some fond memories of playing it. My sister and I, who's just a few years younger than I am, we really got into this game a lot. But my patience back then is not much different from my patience now in terms of old NES games. So, yeah. So we're going to announce the game, and in this case, like I said, Little Nemo, and we're going to give you and everyone else listening to this 2 weeks to play, and then hopefully, as you're playing this game, you will reach out to us through social media and through our website, and we'd love to hear from you. I want to know about your experiences playing this game, if it's your favorite game, if you hate it, if you think it's overrated, anything like that. I'm super interested in hearing from people that are going to play through this game either for the first time or for a repeat visit. You can get in touch with us. You can post on any of the normal social media networks. On our website is DokiDokiGameClub.com. We have a Twitter account. DokiDoki GC is the Twitter account. Facebook, you can just search for Doki Doki Game Club. Will come up. And I believe we're going to be trying to do some Twitch stuff at some point. It's still kind of in the earliest stages, but one of our guys on the show, Frank Martin, is a regular Twitch streamer. So check out his Twitch TV channel. It's Hios _. It's twitch.tv /HEOS_. And he's going to be playing some of the games that we're playing in addition to a bunch of back catalog of his own stuff. So check out his show, check out his channel, and hopefully you'll give us a listen. All right, so that's it for our little bite-sized preview of Doki Doki Game Club. Hopefully, if you hung in there through this, you're interested in hearing more. And as I mentioned, we've got everything covered on the various social media networks. So check us out on Twitter under Doki Doki GC. Search for Doki Doki Game Club on Facebook, and look for Doki Doki Game Club on YouTube as well. Just want to go ahead and thank Joseph for joining me today. Thank you, my friend.
My pleasure.
And until next time, adios, Battletoads. Fuck, what did you tell me to say?
Adios, Battletoads.
Adios, Battletoads. All right, I'll do it one more time. I had to type that out. This is the shit that people are going to pay $5 a pop for.
Oh, yeah.